What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I want to fill you in on a little bit of an update that we got just a short while ago. Now this is very important to understand what is currently happening, the process behind it, and where we are potentially going to go moving forward. So here's what we know. And again, if you have any questions on any of this stuff, please, you can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. Remember, if I comment, if you see my face and my name on a comment, and I'm asking you to text me or send me, Bitcoin, that's not me, that's a scammer, okay? So just keep that in mind. I will never ask you for money. I will never ask you to send me a text message, send me a message through WhatsApp. I'm never going to do that. So I will just comment. I will give you my answer, give you my response. That is it. All right. So here's what we know. The IRS will be sending out an additional 2.8 million unemployment income tax refunds this week. Okay. That is this week. According to the IRS, they state that they have found roughly 13 million Americans that will be getting this unemployment income tax refund. So we are going to see a lot of people start seeing, maybe a few $100s in their bank account, maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000. The average, according to many experts, will be anywhere between $1,000 and $2,400 in unemployment income tax. So that is pretty good. If a lot of people, if 13 million people can get, let's say, an average of $1,000, that is a decent amount of money that they can actually put back into the economy, used to pay off debt, bills, rent, and things like that. Now, here's the issue. Many taxpayers at this time are continuing to call the IRS, not to ask questions about the unemployment income tax. They're calling to ask questions about their actual federal income tax returns, why they are taking so long. According to a few reports, that the IRS has stated the average wait time is roughly 21 days. However, according to many other reports, they are saying that the people that are reaching out to them have been waiting for months, not 4 months, but have been waiting months just to get their federal income tax returns. And so this is money that could be used to pay off rent, pay off debt, savings, put food on the table. But this is stuff that the IRS is trying to work through. The problem right now is the IRS is still a little bit overloaded. They don't have as many workers yet back. So that is part of the reason why they're having so many delays. But according to reports, they hope to fix this by the end of this month. Okay, we're starting out. We still got 3 weeks left, right? A little bit over 3 weeks left. So that is good. So the IRS is going to work through this. However, they are stating that for the unemployment income tax refunds, that could most likely take the entire summer to get all of those out. So just keep that in mind. Now, here's the next thing. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, for one, it's extremely important. But this is the new path forward. Again, we're going to see things change dramatically as far as infrastructure and stimulus. Mainly because, if you remember, if you watch any of my videos I did the past couple of days, I've stated that the Senate parliamentarian told Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer out of New York that the Democrats don't have 2 more budget reconciliations. They only have 1. And that's creating a huge issue. So here's what we know. Many Democratic lawmakers are urging President Biden to include a $15 minimum wage provision into the next bill, and to include a stimulus check to the lowest income earners. That is something that they are urging President Biden to do. They say that if Democrats are required to cut out legislation to reach an agreement with Republicans, then at least Republicans should be willing to accept these 2 priorities. Now, this is good. This is great that Democrats are trying to fight for what they believe the American people need. But reports indicate that President Biden doesn't see it this way, and that most talks of bipartisanship are pretty much all but dead. That is the new thing. That is where we're at. It's over. According to many experts, according to a few lawmakers, it's over. The bipartisanship, the bipartisan negotiations are pretty much done. Here's what we know. The fight right now, again, we'll get to infrastructure. We're going to get to that. But the fight right now, okay, is right now surrounding the low-income earners. because lawmakers say that low-income earners need additional assistance. There is no more time to wait. They need additional assistance. They say that with credit card debt increasing and the rental assistance slow to come, that this group of people need a way to live. Some experts say that there's no wonder that millions of jobless workers are slow to go back to work when they know what they're going to get paid. They know what they're going to get on unemployment. Why go expose themselves to more financial hardship if they don't have to? That's what some are saying, is that right now, there's a reason why many people will not go back to work. Why would somebody go back to work and make $7.25 per hour? They're not going to do that. $7.25 per hour is like $15,000 per year on a full-time job, 40 hours per week, 160 hours per month. That's not a lot. That's a lot of time spent working these jobs, but it's not a lot of money that you receive from it. So, they say it's simple math. If people cannot afford to live with their previous jobs, with the income that they received from their previous jobs, then why would they expose themselves to more financial instability? They're not going to do that. And that's where lawmakers are saying, if President Biden really wants to see jobs increase, well, make it mandatory that some of these states have to increase their minimum wage, because $7.25 per hour is just not enough. So we will see what happens there. But what I can tell you at this time is that we know the $15 minimum wage cannot be included into the budget reconciliation because the Senate parliamentarian already said it cannot. But what we do know is Vice President Kamala Harris can question the Senate parliamentarian and pretty much overrule her if they want to. So I don't think that's going to happen. What we know is Senator Joe Manchin does not support that. Is going to go with whatever the Senate parliamentarian says. So will Kyrsten Sinema. And President Biden, he wants to do the exact same thing. So as of right now, you got Democrats wanting one thing, and you got President Biden and some other Democrats wanting something completely different. So we'll see what happens there. But what I do know, the talks on stimulus checks are not going to subside. They're going to continue to be here. We're going to hear them over and over again, probably for the next few weeks. I say for the next few weeks, probably until July 4th, or right up until that week when Congress does go on recess again. But one of the reasons I say we're going to continue to hear the talks on stimulus is because as of right now, some are saying that if the American people had a little bit more money, and I gave you a report, I did an update earlier this morning talking about how they say the average American has about $1,300 left of their $2,000 stimulus checks. It's just sitting in the bank. But they're waiting for things to spend it on. Vacation, right? They want to put it into, savings or things like that. But also, they want to buy maybe a bigger house or move, or some say they just don't have any money. So, what I can tell you is the talks are going to continue with stimulus checks. The $15 minimum wage is now starting to come back. I'll predict just right now that we will get reports of an additional minimum wage provision included into the next infrastructure package, and it'll be infrastructure/stimulus. But what I am expecting, and again, according to reports, that we have bipartisanship on a $10 to $11 per hour minimum wage. My guess is it'll be closer to $9 to $10, not $10 to $11, and that could get bipartisan support. However, it just depends on how they structure this next bill or this next package, because if it's all infrastructure, Republicans are not going to accept a minimum wage increase because that's technically stimulus, even though some say a minimum wage and addressing that and jobs should be under infrastructure. So again, we will see what happens there. But here's the big thing. Right now, what we know is that the negotiations between the Democrats and Republicans are all but over. Okay, they're all but over. Here's the reason why I say this. Today, the lead GOP negotiator, Shelley Moore Capito, she alluded to the fact that negotiations are close to being done. She stated that the goalposts keep moving. This is something that Senator Mitch McConnell, who's the Senate minority leader, Mitch McConnell, he said this months ago, back when he was the majority leader and he was negotiating with Nancy Pelosi. He kept saying that they keep moving the goalposts. that they kept getting closer and closer to an agreement, and then Nancy Pelosi would say, no, that's not what we want. We need to do this. And then came out that Nancy Pelosi was doing that because she never even wanted to agree to a stimulus package. So what we know is that the GOP offer, again, according to Senator Capito, she says, and I quote, the GOP offer is still not enough, and they're looking at other ideas. So that sounds pretty definitive to me. Now, let's break this down because she says they're looking at other ideas. What we know is that there's the GOP offer, okay? They'll have $1.1 trillion, according to reports this morning. There's also a bipartisan offer as well that's currently being prepped and worked on. This is from Senator Mitt Romney, Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, Susan Collins, I think Rob Portman as well. There's a handful of very influential senators in there. So what we know is that's what, according to reports, that's what the Biden administration is looking into is let's wait and see what this offer has. Wait and see what this bipartisan package has. Then we'll see if we have the votes for it, and then we could potentially move forward with that. Or if everything fails, we will just go at it alone and do a budget reconciliation bill, which would mean no Republican will vote for it. So, Senator Capito also went on to say, and I quote, "We made a good, robust offer. The biggest infrastructure package ever, pay-fors that we've delineated, and he said it's not enough. So I accept that. I mean, I have to. He's the president." And that's something that, we have heard from, a few people is, President Biden says it's not enough. President Biden said this or President Biden said that. And well, we can't do anything about it because he's the president. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Yes, the president does have the final say and can sign it or veto a bill. But really, if Congress wanted to pass something, they could overrule President Biden's veto. So right now, even though she says that he's the president, there are ways around it. So to me, and according to a few different reports, it almost seems like the GOP, the Republican Party, is giving up because things are starting to move in the direction of, Republicans or Democrats do not want to do a bipartisan deal anymore simply because of the budget reconciliation news. Chances are they're just going to go at it alone, pass their own bill, get it done, and not have to worry about Republican votes. So we'll see what happens there. But at this time, it sounds like the negotiations are pretty much done. Now, Senator Capito and President Biden will meet tomorrow, according to reports, and they will discuss the infrastructure package and see where both parties are at. My guess is, again, because Transportation Secretary Buttigieg, he wanted this done today. Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be done today. But the committees are supposed to meet on Wednesday. They're supposed to start working on Wednesday. So because of that, he wants to make sure everything is done. So it needs to get done, not today, but tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, maybe Wednesday again. What I told you guys earlier is we're going to see delay after delay after delay. We're going to see this. It's a political game. It's a political stunt. We're going to see this happen. Chances are we could see delays for the next 3 weeks until Congress comes back from their recess for the July 4th week. And then we could see them push all the way into August, and then they're going to delay and delay and delay, and then get to August, and, well, nothing will get done. They potentially will go on recess again then as well. But we do know some are calling for Congress to skip their recess to actually work for the American people and work for their paycheck. So we'll see. Now, what I can tell you is that right now, this is going to be a tough bill to write. Whether it's a bipartisan bill, which we already know it's going to be extremely tough to write that bill and get everybody on board, or at least 60 votes in the Senate. But the reports are indicating that the toughest bill will be if Democrats decide to go at this alone through a budget reconciliation. This will be the toughest bill that they can write or will write simply because they're going to have a difficult time getting everybody on board with voting for this bill. We got a thin majority in the House. So Democrats pretty much need everybody on board there. We got no majority in the Senate. It's a 50-50 tie, 50-50 split. So because of that, if Democrats don't get enough people on board, they're going to find it almost impossible to get this bill done. So that's what we know right now. But what I can tell you is there's going to be more negotiations happening all throughout this week. I promise I'll fill you in on all the updates as we get them. One thing I can tell you is that it's not over. Okay? It's not over regarding the bill, but what is over, according to reports, is the bipartisan negotiations. That most do not expect a bipartisan deal done, which means there is a higher likelihood for stimulus. There's a higher likelihood for an expansion to the child tax credit. According to reports, the extension of the unemployment benefits, those are pretty much all but over as well. Simply because reports are indicating that many are now saying that the 25 governors that are canceling the unemployment benefits a little bit early are actually making the right decision. So we will see what happens there, but as I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.